Alright, this is just going to be a quick unboxing and setup video of the new Asus AC3100, the RT-AC88U. This is a kind of follow-up video to the unboxing I did of the AC87U last year when that came out. And I've done a few of these router unboxing and setups. We actually happen to have a very difficult Wi-Fi setup here in our environment. We have 50 plus wireless devices, and we have a hard time getting a device that can actually keep up with that. I've actually tried everything from enterprise grade, FortiGate, Wi-Fi stuff, to all the different high-end consumer grades, Linksys, all the different Netgears, Asus, and the only one that actually has stood up until now has been the AC2400. This thing has been a beast. It does have its own problems. This was actually, we got a pre-release, dropped a few days before it actually released last year, so I don't know if maybe we got some early hardware. This one does need to be rebooted daily, but I put it on a schedule and we've been fine there. So when I saw that Asus had released or had announced the 3100, I was pretty excited. This one had a lot of upgrades that I really was wanting from the 2400, but it promised all of the performance of the 2400, kind of like the next generation of the 2400, so to speak. This one of the big things that really sold me on it are the 8 Ethernet ports. We have a lot of devices here on our network. I use switches for a lot of it, and we go to different places, but definitely having more Ethernet ports is one of the big sells on this one. Obviously, the performance increases as well are huge. Love some of the things that this thing is capable of, but let's go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like, shall we? This one actually snuck up on me. I saw it was announced, and I thought, for some reason, I thought it was going to be released next year. And then somebody told me that Netgear had released theirs, because Netgear always has a competitor to every comparable Asus router. Some would say it's backwards, but I think Asus is leading the market personally, since even the Netgear version of the Netgear 2350 did not keep up with the 2400 in our tests. But then somebody said that was out. I checked on Newegg and it was, and then I saw this was out. So I was kind of surprised. So this one, the other one was a flip open box. This is more of an Apple style with a lift off design using gravity to, you can't see it in the video, but I'm having to pull the top right now, letting the gravity fall out the bottom. Okay. So opening it up, first thing we see is WT fast. What the fast? And how about getting started guide? Open your browser, go to router.asus.com. What the fast will update regularly. I don't know if that's the gamer's private network. Experience, difference between winning, blah, blah, blah. Huh. That's kind of cool. I'll have to check that out when we set it up in the setup video. Fast, easy setup. This is fairly straightforward, telling you how to plug it in and turn it on. And you have to go to router.asus.com. We have the same thing in Spanish. Fantastic. And they do not want you to return it. They want you to set it up. And the first thing that really sticks out to me over even the last year's model is this is a very nice box. This is remiss of Apple, to be honest. This is something I would expect from an Apple product. It is wrapped entirely in plastic. Again, very remiss of Apple. And when I pull it out, all I see underneath is Asus with the antennas. 3 of them at least, sitting there. Let's go ahead and pull back on this. I think it's supposed to pull up like this. And there it is. Now, this one it feels bigger in the hand than the 400, but we will compare those. Has that nice red look inside there. Got our USB port here, our antenna connectors, nice little reset button, 8 Ethernet ports, internet, and power. Alright, let's keep pulling stuff out of the box. Intuitively, I want to pull up on this. It's kind of the direction it feels like it should go. You think that there's more in here, because honestly this is hefty, but there's not. There's not. Looks like these came out in shipping. I'm sure that they didn't intend for that to happen, but oh well. Looks like that was a design flaw. This is just a little too short to actually stay in there. Especially if they flipped them, it would have stayed. Actually, if it was facing this way, it would have stayed well. That's something for next time they design a box. They got it 95% of the way on that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these antennas because that looks pretty awesome. Pretty badass if you ask me. Not that I can actually get the antenna screwed on correctly. This does not appear to have directional antennas or anything like that. Or when I say directional, I mean... This is interesting. There it goes, finally. I don't want to screw in. These antennas feel a lot like last year's models. These, of course, have 2 on the sides and 2 on the back. The 2400 was 4 on the back. Just a difference in update and design. And last but not least, this guy. There she is, with all her glory. Definitely is bigger. Let's see what else we have in here. Oh, it's nice. They give you an Ethernet cable and the power cable. I'm going to pray that this is the same power cable as the last one so I don't have to swap it out. That would be fantastic. If I could avoid that, what else do we have? Wireless setup CD and the VIP member warranty notice. Very cool. And of course, the getting started guide, which nobody ever reads. So, side by side, I guess I'm just going to unplug this. I probably should check that they are at the same voltage before I just go ahead and plug it in, but I am risky, so I might not. Let's bring this over here. Okay. Side by side, this one definitely, the new one is definitely bigger than the old one. But not by a lot. Honestly, in the pictures, it looked, and I guess it does from the back, it looked bigger, a lot bigger in the photos, and it's really not. You see it's not a lot taller. Which makes me wonder why they couldn't put more than 4 ports on this one, but side by side, it's a good looking router. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and turn it on and watch it blow up because I used the wrong power cord. That's probably what's about to happen. Of course, now I probably don't even need this switch that I have over here. I have a nice switch. I did move the internet port to the other side, which is not important, but I thought I'd mention it. yeah, I had to have this whole switch before. Connect your switch. Turns out I don't need that anymore, because this thing is capable of handling all of the available ports that I need. That's pretty cool. The reason I say that is because in today's market, it makes sense that you'd have enough ports. There is always one that does not want to unclip. I've lost an entire 8-port switch and still have an extra port. Of course, need more Ethernet length off of this. Please and thank you. Alright. This can sit comfortably right here now. Alright. She's in place. Let's turn her on. This does not have the blue lights of the other one. On the front we have, I don't think I can get this thing to actually focus on that. Maybe I can. This is going to be difficult with the lighting. There we go. Wi-Fi and LED buttons. And I believe what we have right here is a USB port. So we have one on the front and one on the back, which really some people would use if they had this in a more of a computing environment. I use this next to our media system, so I think it's still booting up. I have no lights really, other than, well, no lights at all actually. Let's go into the setup. Last year I did a setup video separately. This year I see no reason why I can't do them together. Wi-Fi. I'm kind of waiting for any kind of lights to show. I know it's still booting, but it'd be cool if something happened. It is just a bad looking router. I'll get internet to start. It's just a bad looking router. That's awesome. Bad as in awesome. Alright, lights are on. The thing is booted. You saw how long that took from the time I turned it on. This thing does not want to focus today. Well, crap. Okay. Lights are on. This does not give you an indicator light for every individual port. The old ones did that. They could do that because they only had 4. This one just tells you that you are using the network. That's what that little network light does. Not that this thing will freaking focus at all. I'm not going to review the camera I'm using. There we go. USB 3, USB 2, and Wi-Fi protected setup buttons, which the Wi-Fi protected setup button is right back here. Cool. Alright, let's connect to our computer and see what we get. So the first thing that I notice, I could follow their little guide. I'm going to connect to Asus 5G on my computer here. I'm going to turn on Do Not Disturb, and I'm going to open Firefox. Oh, this is embarrassing, Firefox. Can't restore your tabs. That's great. I didn't want your tabs to be restored. So let's go to router.asus.com. Server can't find router.asus.com. What does that click start doing again? HTTP router.asus.com. Surely it doesn't have to be connected over wired to the router via Wi-Fi or universal network cable. Okay. Oh, refresh router.asus.com, and here we are. So, one thing that is typical of all routers, Netgear, Asus, or anything, is that they need to be updated. The firmware is unstable with these things. Sink or swim, it is unstable for the first few months. I found that to be true of all routers, even my dear 2400, which I love. It was unstable for the first few months. This is kind of a welcome guide, 5 GHz speeds, blah blah blah. 2167 and 2.4, and 2.4 up to 1000, 4K video playback. Which is really using MIMO, which really isn't out yet in MIMO, but whatever. 3 or 4 antennas, 5,400 square feet. I actually am curious to see how that stands up to our house. I have a far corner room upstairs that I do not get good coverage in. Other than that, the 2400 was great, but I want to see if this is improved at all. Let's go. I will say I wasn't terribly impressed with the setup of the 87U. The firmware was so buggy. In fact, for the longest time, I know we had a pre-release. I know we got it before it came out. Something slipped and we got it early, but I couldn't even download the manual. I would click manual, which is not in the setup wizard, but there's a manual button in the web interface, and for the longest time, it just took you to a 404 on Asus's website. That's how messed up it was. So I'm going to put a password in here really quick. And I am going to, if you have an Asus router account, you can log in with that. It will give you FTP and AI Cloud. And it's going to try to do everything for me automatically. Just do my connection type. Does your internet connection require internet? Nope, it's just DHCP. We have a pretty good setup. I have fiber optic internet here. Turn off the cable DSL modem. I don't have a cable DSL modem. I don't have a cable DSL modem. I think I said that already. Oh. Okay. So, for our case, and the reason this is timing out, it's really not important for the case of the video, but I'm just going to mention it anyway. We happen to have a fiber optic internet connection which terminates with DHCP, and our ISP is gracious enough to give us 2 IP addresses per household. So we actually have a switch in front of our ISP, and we have another router, so we have 2 separate networks. We share a gigabit connection, fiber optic gigabit, which is great. I love it. It's just, it needed to be rebooted after that. Unable to connect to the internet. Let's go back to this. My internet connection is some automatic IP. Automatic DHCP. Hey, there it goes. And I'm going to put in some Wi-Fi things here. It's important that I use the same 2.4 and 5 gigahertz names as I did before, because all 50 some devices in this house will have to reconnect, and that would not be fun. That would not be fun at all. So, I typed in my names and I hit save. And now Asus is searching for something. Not sure what. But they're searching. I will be curious to see what kind of speeds I get. I would run another wired speed test, but then everybody would get mad at me like they did in the comments of the last one, because I get about 935 megabit down and about roughly 900 megabit per second upload. And that is because I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where EPB fiber optic internet provides that to us for $70 a month. If you are looking to do advanced IT things and want good internet, move to Chattanooga, Tennessee, or any of the Google Fiber cities. Interestingly, Chattanooga beat Google Fiber by a decade. They've laid the entire city of Chattanooga for miles and miles and miles, has all of the fiber already in place. Enough that EPB is actually offering 10 gigabit, they just announced, because Comcast said we're going to be cool, we are going to be offering 2 gigabit in the next few years. Well, EPB said that's fine, we're going to offer 10 gigabit, so they're offering 10 gigabit, which is pretty cool. So I clicked on the little search thing, and now we're searching full screen. Looks like it's actually hitting Amazon Web Services for something. I'm not 100% sure what that would be hitting AWS for, or what it's even searching for that matter. I think it probably is searching for updates, but can we not? This seems to be timing out, which is very unfortunate. I want to be a rebel and just go to router.asus.com, see what happens. Router.asus.com. I could also be a rebel and decide that I could just go to the router address. 192. Remember this from the old days of routers? 168.1.1. Hey, look at that. That is a much nicer sign-in page than they used to have. They've clearly improved something from last year. Well, that's not good. I typed try admin. I don't know if it's saved. I did not save any of my settings. That's a little disconcerting, but not terribly unexpected. Again, this is a new device. I didn't expect perfection out of this. I heard that when you search for an update, it tells you there is no firmware upgrade. If you're familiar with the Asus web interface, this is, the router's current version is the latest version. That's probably not true. Let's go to asus.com. Yeah, forgot the Firefox switched to Safari primarily. Let's go to support, products, apparently, okay, AC88U. Can I make this full screen by any chance? Oh, I can really make it full screen, like that. Okay, drivers and tools. Definitely Asus's website that is slow, not ours, for sure. You know what? Others. Firmware. Okay, so this shows 380, 858. Oh, look, that's different. That is true, by the way, of pretty much all Asus routers. That was so true of that thing. This updater, there has to be like 3 versions released before this thing will find them. And it will not find the latest one, and ever. I'm not sure why that is. Asus really must have screwed something up. The nice part is, well, that is one of the downsides to Asus. I had the AC3400. the 3200 Netgear version with the dual 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and there was a problem with the VPN. Netgear was great about that. Netgear, because I had such a complex VPN setup, it was just a major problem. It wasn't taking one of the settings, and I contacted support, and they got me all the way up to the people that write the drivers, and they said, yeah, that actually is a problem. They gave me a beta driver that fixed my VPN issue. I was kind of surprised. Netgear's a lot better about their firmware than Asus is. So I'm just going to select the zip file for the new version and say upload. Let's decompress the file first. Oh, great. Let me do that for you. Yay. Make sure when you select it that you choose not the zip file, but the actual bin file. Firmware is upgrading. Please do not power off the AC88U while the upgrade is in progress. So right out of the box, I will say this experience, even though it did time out on that searching for something, I don't know what it was searching for. I really kind of still wish I could figure that out. I might have left it, but I'm not sure it was worth it. I'm not going to go through all of the settings in this video because I have a video that covers most of that, and I don't think terribly much has changed. I do see a traffic analyzer, which is one of the cool changes I saw in this version. Gives you more control over your kind of really what's happening on your network. Did not save my SSIDs either. Didn't really save anything. I don't know if that's because it was trying to synchronize it to the cloud first or what the deal was. It's kind of creepy if Asus is trying to save it, all of our network settings to their cloud first. I'm sure that's probably not what's happening, but got a nice little flashing arrow, flashing exclamation point there, which is fairly interesting. Something's definitely happening. It's only got one light on right now. I don't know how to make this a 55-minute video, but this is the one that wants to take forever to update. Trying to think if there's anything else I needed to show in this video that I was trying to show us the difference. Kind of one of the main things I think that was important to mention was compared to the web interface of the 2400 last year, this is a lot better. Asus has done, obviously, they've been working with this firmware a little longer. That was one of the earlier ones to receive this newer web interface style, and it took a while to iron some things out. That is so true. But all the lights on now. Alright, we rebooted and we're back with admin. Don't know what actually got changed, updated with the fast. That is one thing that I need to do a little more research on, is what the fast thing. That's kind of cool. It apparently just customizes your environment. Okay. Awesome. Let's look at the traffic analyzer really quick. That's cool. Let me introduce you. Last day. Oh, that's cool. Display for routers or apps. Oh, that is really neat. Show it upload downloaded. Wow, I don't know how intensive this is going to be on the, trying to remember what the processing specs were on this compared to the 2400. .512 DDR3 RAM. Doesn't really talk about the processor at all. Interesting. Wow. This is pretty cool. They've really improved this. The web interface hasn't been something I've been terribly impressed with up until now. Oh good, it gives you little warnings. Your network name and password are still default. Oh, I tried to change it and you didn't update it. Your network place, Samba permissions are unauthorized users login. Yeah, probably should turn that off by default, guys. Game boost is the only other thing I see that's new, which shows the new What the Fast, LAN boost, adaptive quality of service, AI protection, which I never used. We had problems with the firewall. I say that everything was great with the 2400. If I turned the firewall off, it was great. The firewall tended to, and I know we have a lot of stuff going through this, but the firewall this thing would slow down and not even work right half the time. But it still held up better than anything else that we used. IPv6, WAN wireless, and that's pretty much it. This is, I'll follow up in the comments as to how this performs compared to the 2400, but I'm expecting to not get any worse of performance out of this. Asus makes a good product. I've been reviewing a lot of routers in the market, and this one I expect to be the replacement for the best one we've found so far. Thanks for taking the time to watch the unboxing video. Follow up with any comments or any questions in the comments, and I'll keep you guys updated as we put it through the works to see how it compares. Thanks for watching.